This right here, this is kind of an unusual object right here. Gotta say, I've never painted anything quite like this. Let me try and get him back on the screen here for you. Might try that color scheme. Also, it's kind of like Prinkles. Instead of Prinkles the cat, it's like Prinkles the fishicorn because he's like part unicorn, part fish, and part, I don't know, maybe something else. So we're just gonna try and play around with these things here, and we'll see where that just might take us here. It's about some Prussian blue, I suppose. Prussian, maybe we might even throw a little bit of that. Yeah, some of that in here too. So yeah, Landrest, if they sent you a picture of the thing on the porch, if you could, well, obviously after we're done here, you send me that picture, and if it looks like if it's not like an orange brick house, orange terracotta, whatever you want to call it, then they didn't bring it to the right house because there should be some kind of orangey terracotta, terra rosa style bricks in the picture. Okay, all right, Landrest. Well, I can't go look there right now, but if it's in the mailbox, boy, that's a pretty tiny envelope. I don't know how the heck they shoved that into the mailbox. But I'll look after the stream, Landrest, and I'll shoot you a message. So yeah, Landrest, here's hoping that it's just sitting there in the mailbox. I mean, it was just one tube of paint, so and I guess they could have shoved it in an envelope. Oh yeah, see, Landrest, I'm kind of used to. Oh, remember Valfera? Remember they sent him a bunch. Wasn't it Valfera? They sent him a bunch of tubes of paint in an envelope, and I wondered, oh, was it unexpected? So actually, well, Landrest, like I said, I'll look after the stream, and we can hope that that's where it is, because it wouldn't go missing in there. Believe me, you'd literally have to reach into the house to be able to get at that. So I get that. That's better. I mean, it was just a one tube of paint, so here's hoping that it actually fit in there. But well, thanks anyway, Landrest. I appreciate that. Sorry to yesterday things did not go well, and today things did not go well at all. It was a couple of really unfortunate days. So yeah, I wasn't. There was nobody. Usually, one or both of us would be within about 6 to 10 feet of the mailbox, and we would have heard that. But it hasn't. Like I said, it has not been a super couple of days here. It's definitely been not on the good side. But here's hoping, Lethal Shadows, that convention goes really, really well for you. Actually, Landrest, it would have been nifty to have that here. But of course, you know how we were talking in the messages back and forth, how we try and set up some way to, I don't know, time it, right? Where we maybe even try it on a couple of miniatures or something like that. And we sort of time that. Let's see. Actually, Doji, we're not doing anything too crazy. It's just Prussian blue with a little bit of the radiant blue. Uh, we'll see what kind of staining this might actually do, or do we even want to do that? Maybe we don't even wipe this away. Are we going rogue? Are we gonna go rogue and not wipe this away here? We're going off the reservation. Hey Cinder, how you doing? So Cinder, well, the last picture I saw was from Charity. Well, she posted it online maybe Thursday, I think, because they had the Armored Wolf, boots set up at the Toad thing. I hope that they're doing okay there. I didn't want to bug Armored Wolf, so I didn't message him or anything like that. Well, there's pre-glaze down here. There's pre-glaze down here, but I don't know. We're going rogue here. All right, time for some sponges. Time for some sponge. That did leave a little bit behind. Don't you say? Yeah. Oh yeah, look at this. Look at the difference there. Look at that difference. Now, I did print out some more basing bits. I mean, they were, what, $7. That Aowen that I wanted to do, right? Glittering caves, actually leaving more behind than I thought. Make it epic. They're really more desert type things, I guess. Like the rocks where they're kind of piled one on top of another, right? Sort of almost like a desert rock formation. But it also looked a little bit like the glittering caves rocks. So I printed out some of those in the hopes that maybe I could use that with our Aowen figures. All right, more sponges here. Perline black. Again, do I want these to be that reddish color, or do we make them like antlers? I don't know. We'll have to see. All right, let's see. Today was their first day. I thought so. Doshi, it just took a tiny little touch. So Doshi, this. Oh wait. Let me see. So instead of using this, this is cerulean blue, Series 4 expensive color. The Prussian blue mixed with that little bit of radiant blue basically created cerulean blue at a fraction of the price, right? Doji, those two paints together don't even cost what this thing does. Ooh, hey, check this out. Remember we used the Fanchon red on this and we found out it was staining. No, naphthol red. Sorry, scratch that. Naphthol red. Let's see what happens here. Woof. Naphthol red. That actually shows his ears being a little bit red there too. Let's see if that is also staining. Ooh, there you go. There's some bright. Oh, look at that. Look at how it's just mixing with the blue right there. Now over here, let's get this going. Over here and over here. This is going to be one wild, crazy color scheme right here. What, an Underworld's Warband? So everybody, please check out that link that Felchi just posted, and of course, again, give Felchi that follow because that's what makes Twitch so cool. That's what makes Twitch so cool. Also, remember last night how I was talking about the guy from Luke's APS? He did that video about the oils, and I actually I wrote a message to the Geek Gaming Scenics Facebook page just to see what would happen. Well, he actually already wrote back. He says he's on vacation right now, but when he gets back, he was thinking that maybe we could just do a little a voice chat hangout thing or something like that, and just could give him a little bit of a heads up on how the oils are and stuff. And of course, we can show him our favorite hummuses, right? He didn't realize that he had non-GMO, gluten-free hummus, did he? So yeah, we'll show him that he makes the finest non-GMO, gluten-free hummus for basing ever. So please, everybody, go check out the link that Fulci posted. Sorry that I can't click on that here. But this should be interesting here to see if this works. But yeah, Landris, I'll shoot you a message after the stream. I'll try and just stick my hand there in the mailbox. And unfortunately, the mailbox, you actually have to open the closet door, then fight through the coats and everything else, and then stick your hand into the mailbox to see if there's anything in there. So I will do that after the stream tonight, and I'll let you know. If it's in the mailbox, it's in there. And won't be missing or anything like that. So that would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, Green Fairy Studios, a whole bunch of folks. Well, actually, the Linseed Brotherhood actually was mentioned twice in the comments. Yes, Grumdy also mentioned it in the comments. So a bunch of people, they said to come here, right, to check out the oils. And I thought, well, let's accelerate that process a little bit. So I actually just shot him a message, and well, it worked. It worked. Ah, look at this. See how the blue is mixing with that automatically? Well, this is the benefit of the oils, right? This is what the oils do. Hey, Crypt Shadow, how you doing? So this is Geek Gaming. It's Luke's from the guy that makes the Luke's APS basing materials and such. Let me see if I can get some of this on the other side here. Just I know it's tough to see that, but it needs to get in there anyways. All right, I think we're pretty much filled in. There's one more bag. Okay, we did get that. There's also a little bit of his some of the hair down here. So I'm just going to get this naphthol red stuck in down here. Like so, and we'll just let this all mix, right? Why would we not look at this. So I'm just letting that red get mixed in there, creates a whole different color. And then we can grab a sponge here and, well, let it actually technically mix a little bit more, right? Here, let's take away some of that. Yes, Fulton there. So 2 raids, 29 minutes. This is what we got. Seriously, it was just primer 29 minutes ago. That's it. All right, well, Skelly B, thank you so much for that raid. Appreciate that. And again, everybody, if you're not already following Skelly B, please do so. Thank you so much. Yeah, acid burn. Just a very, very, very bizarre kind of day today. You know what? I'm gonna take indigo, Prussian blue, mix those together. I'm gonna start to darken up a few areas here too. Around the eyes for sure. No doubt. Again, I was going to use the interference colors and almost do more of a metallic type of a thing. And then I said, no, I think we're going to, I don't think we're going to do that here. I can always print this out again and try it one more time. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to get a little bit of the Egyptian violet into this. So Runic Raccoon, nice to see you again too. Oh, and here's last night's stream, by the way. So Elf Helm, we painted this one here. It's a Forge World miniature for Rohan. Seminar, nice to see you again. Yeah, Doshi, now, since it's Sunday there, you don't have to head off to work, do you? Can you see what's happening here? We're kind of doing a little bit of dark over the top of that lighter blue. I just want to see, ooh, indigo, Egyptian violet. Now this is just a Winsor Newton indigo. It's not the, what the heck, Williamsburg indigo. I'm just going to throw a little bit of dark over the top of that. See where that takes us here. Same over here. You must have dark to show the light, right? So Seminar, I hope that you're doing well. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, know what I'm gonna... Yeah, I'm gonna actually take this one here. I'm gonna do something like this here. We'll take Egyptian violet. Don't need very much of that. A little bit of the Prussian blue. Ah, hey there. Hey, Kelly, nice to see you. Holy smokes, that's really cool. Hey, Kelly, nice to see you. Well, say hi to Mike for me too. Actually, were you guys doing some online gaming this weekend? And oh gosh, what's the latest hotness that everybody's been playing especially the last 4-5 months or so? Elder Scrolls, right? Hey AD, how you doing? AD, if you wanted to shout yourself out, Armored Wolf, obviously he's off at the Renfield, manning his booth. So AD, sorry, it's been one of them kind of days here. So I saw that you were streaming live, but I couldn't join you there. I felt bad because I got the notification, and hopefully that was all. You were saying that it was on target to be ready to go for your stream, so hopefully it was ready to go for your stream. Let's see. Hey, Blades. Oh my goodness, Blades. Well, I know you've been looking forward to that for quite a while. You know what I'm going to do? We know that we know that Naphthol Red has a little bit of staining to it. So I'm going to actually come back in here, and we're going to do a little bit of a pinline wash with that. I never would have thought I'd be using that sort of a thing, whether like a pinline wash sort of thing. Doing some sculpting there. Mood template, thank you so much. We could certainly use this with that. A sub, that means a sip, which we take very gratefully. So thanks so much, Mood template. Nice to see you again. Hey, Deuce, how are you doing? So yeah, Kelly, this is that second thing that basically she was really recovering from the other thing, and then this other thing hit, and it's been a long story. I'll shoot you some messages maybe after the stream or something like that. Because you might be up playing. Is it Elder Scrolls, or is it what is it? Elden Ring. Blades was out there till 1:30. Well, I guess you got to make the most of it, right, Blades? Because a certain four-legged critter is occupied right now. So yeah, I guess you want to take advantage of that while you can. Definitely make the most of that opportunity, right? Moose gumbo sounds good. Actually, food of any kind right now sounds really good. I'm not partial. I'll take moose gumbo. Actually, last time I had gumbo was a long time ago. Long time ago. All right, here we go. Actually, hey, how is that new? Oh gosh. So that bed there, is it also like temperature controlled, or is it just the like the shape of it? You know, one side can be moved a little bit, like raise up the head or lower the feet or something like that, or is it just like one mattress is a little more hard, and then the other one maybe is a different, or maybe has a different temperature control? So Blade's gonna have to get up even earlier when the puppy is there. All right, so we've look at this. It's literally a half an hour in, and we've been able to establish an awful lot of the colors that we were looking for. And again, this right here, how many times have I said that Prussian blue, the reason why it wiped out things like, I don't know, cerulean blue, is because it does cerulean blue only better at a fraction of the price. That's a Series 4 color. That's cadmium level pricing right there. Prussian blue is a Series 2 color, as is the Radiant blue, right? Series 2? Yeah, it's a Series 2. So these two paints right here together are maybe, if you get them on Dick Blick, would you say they're about 16 bucks-ish? I'll tell you right now, I think cadmiums are more than 16 bucks. All right, well, thanks, Kelly. You have a good one. Yeah, I'll try and shoot you a note there, and we'll say hi to Mike for me, and and Karen too, and Mom, and Grandma, and everybody. All right, what do we want to do here? I'm tempted. You know what? I'm gonna do it just because you never really get to see this. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna take Radiant Turquoise or Turquoise. We're always talking about the pin line wash doesn't have to just be darker, it can be lighter. You don't usually get to see this. Now, of course, technically we did that here with our rust. And this again, this is our latest army painting series right there. Yeah, Deuce, that cadmium stuff, right? Can make some money in cadmium. Well, I guess in cobalt too. You can make some money there. So Blade, sorry that you can't even sleep in a little bit. Here, let me get, you know what? I'm going to go one step further. And I'm even going to use a different brush here. I'm going, well, let's see how this works here. And we're going to drop this right down in, look at that. See this? Look at, you know what? Here, let's do this. Let's do this. And thanks again, Neoms. Sorry, Neoms. We didn't get you your file. He's like, hello, little hobbits. Shadowfax? Is this? I think Shadowfax is in his rebel. Is this like his rebel phase? What's going on? So, Neoms, sorry that we didn't get to shout you out there. Thanks for so much for joining the hobbits here. Oh, thanks, Maze. Nice to see ya. So, see what just happened there? Look at this. See that? And, you know, I'm going to put a little more thinner into that. Remember, you can thin the oils. You cannot dilute them. You know, that's actually too hefty of a... Here, let's see if this one is a little bit better for that. I think it will be. So all I have to do, look at this, I'm just literally touching it in this one area. See how it actually defies gravity and like shoots in two different directions? That is the nifty thing. This is real capillary action. Yeah, that's real capillary action right there. That's not that fake stuff from contrast paints and whatever. That's genuine capillary action. Oh, hey, Megan. So yeah, Megan, a little bit of a later start again. Look at that. Look at, see how that's just seeping right into all of those cracks and crevices right there. So Maze, it's pretty simple. It's very. Let me grab the ones here. So basically, these are the. Well, here you go. Number 8 round craft brush. And then so you got some filbert brushes here. I have a 6 and a 4, but here's a 6. So this is from Princeton Velvet Touch. It's a synthetic. The Cottman brushes are the same. Here's another, so that's a liner brush right there. The Winsor Newton Cottmans pretty much are the same thing. They all should be somewhere in the neighborhood of $4.50 to $5.50 a piece. Something along those lines. And, oh, thanks, Megan, for popping that link in there. Thank you so much. So, Megan, it's another late night, right? Because it's 2 o'clock in the morning. So I appreciate, of course, as always, well, Blades, it's also very late. And Blades, what is it, 4 hours, Blades, that you got to be up to head out to your convention there? Look at this. See, look at how far that's spread down there. Instead of me painting all this, look at this. It's still spreading out. Check this out. Oh, here, look. Here, look at this. I just took a little bit of the thinner. And I'm extending that out even further. Look at this side versus this side, huh? Check that out. Kind of cool, huh? So yeah, Maze Bits, again, the first brush that I showed you, that number 8 round, that's just a craft brush. Comes in a set of 12. $6. It used to be $5, but well, everything's pricier now, right? And again, all of these are just synthetic brushes. And everybody, please check out the link that AD posted. Oh, look at this, man. That's capillary action, I'm telling you. That is some seriously boss capillary action. Doesn't get much better than that. So this is starting to look at that. You can see that nice lighter color that seeped in there. We might even go slightly lighter than that in a few areas. Oh, you know what I might... Ooh, I was almost... Do I want to break out the cobalt violet? But I don't think we're going to do that here. I think we're going to stick with Egyptian violet. Egyptian violet here. Let's see. So yeah, Lehman Russ, that was all a bunch of Mechanicum stuff. Painted, I want to say, about 2014. So I I recommend Sculpey Clay for everything, because Sculpey Clay, I absolutely love the stuff. It can do so many amazing things. Now there's also things like, Make It Epic basing. They have a lot of 40K type things that you can print out. All right, thanks, Runic. Thank you so much. So, Runic, you have a good one. Again, sorry this was such a late start. Usually it's much earlier, but I have a feeling that the Monday stream might also be a post-midnight start. If it's not, you'll know that there's been sort of a change for the better here. If it's still a midnight start, then you know things are still not the way we would like them to be here. So here we're going to keep going, adding some more lights. I might change this. I might look at this and go, you know what? I don't like the lighter colors. I want to go back to the darker look. Might get some more violet into that, whatever. Oh, thanks. Oh, shoot. I don't have that. Boy, oh boy. Dark Danigan, because, I got caught right in the middle of trying to redo everything, right? That's not here. I would grab that Orc Defcopta. Let's see. No, thanks, Runic. Actually, on the Instagrams, I'm just Wapelius on Instagram. You'll have to scroll back for a little bit, but I do believe there's pictures of the Orc Defcopta. Oh, we did that based on stream. So Lehman Russ, again, all of the videos here are saved as highlights. So just go back. You're going to have to go back to probably late 2020 on that one. But there actually is there is a video on the basing process of that. So you could maybe check that out there. Let me see. I think we're almost caught up. And yeah, what is that? The what is he called? Oh, it's the Painters Guild, or the Artists Guild, I think is what that's called. And then there's the Wappleville area. That's where I try to remember to post things when I can. Again, I try to, not always successful. Oh, thanks, Bithron. Appreciate that. So again, Bithron just posted the link to the Instagrams there. And if you want to see lots of pictures of painted stuff, that's pretty much where you're going to find it. Let's see. That sounds really good there, Doji. That sounds really fantastic. So Miniature Painters Guild. Thanks, Green Fairy. It's to me, it's just Wappleville, because that's the area where I post. Now, there's other areas too. There's also a 3D printing area there where people can ask questions from each other about settings and resins and all that kind of good stuff. So there are several, I guess, what are they called? Channels. Right, so the one thing is the server, and then all the sub things, those are the channels. I'm always kind of ignorant on the nomenclature for that. Sorry about that. You know what? I'm going to see if I can't get some of this. Yeah, we never really did get the final. Oh, I think we had some raids going on, and we are very appreciative of the raids. We want to thank all of our raiders. We appreciate that. Yep. So it is okay. So they're called, the sub things are called channels, and the whole thing, the thing as a whole, is called a server, right? Yeah, Kathy's always She gets aggravated that can never remember those things, that I always call them, channels or whatever, instead of one thing's a server, one thing's a channel. But all the cool kids know what that stuff is, so I don't know what that stuff is. Now we can still go lighter than this, right? This is not the lightest color that we can put in here. We can certainly go lighter than this should we choose. Now here we're being a little bit more targeted with that pin line wash. And I might actually, you know what? Oh gosh, I'll just... No, I better grab one of the smaller ones here. I see we've got some things we got to work around here. Yeah, the melty cheese on the pretzels, that certainly sounds very yummy. Ooh, I'm going to do it. I'm actually going to grab some of that radiant green with the turquoise here. Yeah, a little too much thinner got into that, but whatever. Can just take some off on the sponge there. See if we can't take away a little bit more. And we're going to just fire some of that onto here. Like so. It's going to be a little bit more difficult because we got that sort of a tree thing in the way. Again, these are 3D prints from Lost Kingdom Miniatures. Lost Kingdom Miniatures. Oh yeah, I think, oh gosh, Kathy likes the butter snaps. I think that's what they're called, and I think they're Snyder's pretzel, and they're called butter snaps. I think that's her favorite thing from the Pretzelverse. Is the Snyder's. A little bit more the dry brushy stuff going on here. You can always come back in with a small brush and do finer things, but see that? And by the way, there's we haven't touched the white. Look at this. See that white just sitting over there? It hadn't been touched yet. I mean, that's of course we have the benefit of all the lovely radiant colors, which I'm actually gonna pop some of that down here. Now that I think about it, because reasons. Snyder's pretzels, what you like the pieces? Oh yeah. Wow, that AD. That's this is that we call this a culinary channel for a reason. Well, also the cavalry channel. And Sarge, I think this is the March. I don't think this is April. I think this is March. I'll look. I'll look and see. Actually, there was a bunch of other stuff from this one that I was even thinking of doing for almost an army painting series. So again, we're just taking our... This is again one of those liner brushes we were talking about here. And they're just extending some of the lighter colors down there. So thanks so much, Dark Dad, again. That my candy bar now, well, it was a stressful day today, so I ate about about 20% of that thing today. I don't want to burn through it too fast because there's only so much of that, right? You don't want to burn through it right away. But it's super, super yummy, and thank you so much for that. Yeah, Sarge, typically Lost Kingdom stuff, the bases are almost, oh god, I don't want to say incorporated, but they do some really elaborate basing. Oh, I have this middle one printed out. So see, Sarge, there's the render down there. I think you're looking at this one over here on the left-hand side. No, maybe it's the one on the right-hand side, but I got the one in the middle printed out. It's pretty big. Well, it's tall. It's the same size as this, but it has, it's got that shaman or whatever it is. It's actually kind of standing on top of it there. Hey, Dano, nice to see you. Hi, J Wedge. So J Wedge, right now I'm still using the frozen Sonic Mini 4K. I've got the Mono X from Anycubic. Just with all the stuff that's been happening here, I have not had a chance to set that up yet. I really hope to, because I would love to print out these guys. Oh, Sarge, I know people talk about Lord of the Print Dragons. Lost Kingdoms has some really, if you want dragons, Lost Kingdoms has some very nice large creatures. So definitely look at those. Check those out. Okay. I know I never did get the light out here. Instead of a pin line wash there, I'm just going a little more opaque style. That's all right. Doesn't always have to be a pin line. I'm going to be going over those with the with my probably some more of the Egyptian violet again anyhow. So Dano, I hope that things kind of calm down a little bit today. I know it's been a bit hectic there too. Now we're going to start to pick out some lighter stuff here. I could do maybe a more traditional, I guess if you want to call it that, a darker pin line wash around these guys, but I still haven't even grabbed the white yet, right? So we got some room. We got some room to maneuver here. Yeah, Sarge. There's some really nice. Even in this particular release here, they had like this forest dragon that they're just really elegant sculpts. Now that didn't quite work the way I wanted it to, and not gonna worry about it because this is oils. So I'm just gonna essentially use that like a makeup brush, and the problem is solved. It's all gone. Don't have to worry about it anymore. And again, this is not the lightest color that we can do. We can go lighter than this for those brightest highlights. Some of this is still pre-glaze, and again, the pre-glaze on this, well, we did use the naphthol red because we wanted to give it another test. I mean, we know that it can stain, but it was interesting. I didn't have to put that much on there, and it could actually mix with other colors like the Prussian blue and do some staining there as well. So now, Dano, those are the ones that you printed out, right? And Dano, the more I think about it, I might just, well, if I can get some, I don't know if I'll get a chance to print out those guys. I might just see if I can't assemble some regular Marines, and maybe we just say the heck with it and do an army painting series on Smurfs. Just for reasons. Back to the radiant green over here. I'm gonna go yellow, I think, with the that might be more interesting, I think. So yeah, we'll try to see if I can print those out. I may just have to assemble whatever generic Marines I have. They might all be kind of very similar in pose. I haven't had a chance to do the next chapter study figure yet. I may try to, oh yeah, I may try to film that one tomorrow, I guess. I don't know if it's Iron Hands. I'll have to look. I don't remember what it is. Armored Wolf was kind enough to kind of convert and prep some of those. Alright, Green Fairy, thanks so much for hanging out, as always. You have yourself a good Sunday. Have yourself a good Sunday, and of course, thanks for hanging out in the stream. It's always nice to have you here, you know that. I think we're all caught up there. Yeah. So Maze Bits, we have plenty of those. Now the Cottmans tend to be double zeros, triple zeros, but I just prefer the liner brushes. This is the 18-0 liner brush because it's got the longer bristles on it. It gives you a, see here, look at, way more control. Look at this, my hand is nowhere near, but look at this. You don't even see my fingers, yet total control, right? Look at this, it can be anywhere here, and we can have a nice access to those small areas there. We can even sneak the brush underneath here. So love me some liner brushes. And the best thing, well, right now, I don't know if it might have been a Memorial Day sale, but on Dick Blick, these brushes right here were just $4 a piece or something like that. And again, I've given up on sable brushes. Used to use them all the time, but sadly, you can't rely on those anymore. The quality control on those is really just deteriorated to a point where I'm not spending my money on that stuff anymore. I mean, maybe if the quality control was where it used to be, might still use them, but eh. And thanks so much, Megan, for posting the link for Armored Wolf there. Again, Armored Wolf typically does the moderation stuff. He's off doing one of his fairs. So Megan has been very, very generous. She's staying up super late. She's staying up very late, and she is also doing some of the things that Armored Wolf is typically doing here. So everybody say thank you so much to Megan for doing that. Boom, like so. And we'll just let that there. That's sat there. I might even throw a little bit of the yellow here into the... Not quite sure that are they supposed to be antlers or not. But a little something there. Let's see, Doji's been using, Raphael 840s. I think we're all caught up. So Megan has made sure to thank Megan. Because, of course... Oh, let's get... Yeah, that's working out okay. That's the yellow versus the blue there. That's gonna be, well, look at, you can see all the darker paint on the end of the brush, because this is mixing the whole time, the entire time. This is touching that, and you can see that. I can see the darker brown works its way onto the brush. Each and every one of these little brush strokes here gets that darker color onto your brush, which this is why we can mix here, right? That's what allows the mixing to happen. Now I'm gonna grab me this here. I might actually start to use a little bit of the we're gonna let that mix with whatever the heck else is on this brush. Yeah, J-Wedge, because the Saturn II came out, I guess those are on super sale. And we have a couple of folks in the chat that use the Saturns. And Sarge, Dano, they're pretty well versed with the Saturns. So any sort of questions that you got, they could give you some info on that. As far as do they think it's a good plan to go ahead with one of those? Doshi, we did one a little bit earlier, and of course that's long before all of this value got on here. And Doshi, it was just like Prinkles. It was just like Prinkles. So you're going to really enjoy the film noir. It's going to be just like what happens when we do one of those of Prinkles. So Sarge, that doesn't really happen. Of course, when a brush gets dog-eared, I don't mind, because it's almost kind of like, remember the gun that they tried to develop for the Ferdinand or the Oliphant one, whichever variant, right? And remember it had that curved thing on it, right? So they could get around the hatches and stuff. Actually, if a brush gets dog-eared, it doesn't bother me. So you're not using very much of the paint at all. And because it's semi-opaque, In many ways, it's like using the oil paints. Now, obviously, it's going to dry a lot faster than the oils, and you can't necessarily do as much of the mixing. But believe it or not, adding the contrast paint to regular paints makes those not dry so fast. And then you can actually do a little bit more blending, wet blending and mixing that way. So fair service, I'm just James Wapple on YouTube. Yep, just look up, go to YouTube, type in James Wapple, and that should pop right up. And there's a bunch of other tutorials on there. And then of course, well, we got the Patreon page. That's where, especially if you do the Army Painter Pledge level, there's 1,100 hours or more. They're not less. There's gonna be more of videos waiting for you to watch. Terrain, basing, everything. Yeah, Chewy, now do you have Archvillain as well? The Archvillain does have a lot of nifty, monstrous infantry, actual monsters, right? I do enjoy their stuff as well. They're lizard men. We've done a lot of that too. And thanks for posting the link there, Bitron. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Again, I appreciate everybody kind of taking over the duties there. Normally, Armored Wolf is here to do that. And also, while Armored Wolf is gone, please everybody check out Armored Wolf's Etsy page, because in addition to all the fine basing materials, like the crushed glass snow and the grass and flower tufts, Armored Wolf also does dice bags. And what are dice bags good for? Oh, I don't know. When you have new Easterling dice, courtesy of Dark Dannigan, thank you so much. You get yourself one of Armored Wolf's dice bags. You can pop them in there. Maybe even have an Easterling design done in metal on the front of the dice bag. Because Easterlings, right? Enough said. Well, AD, thank you so much for hanging out. Appreciate that. And everybody, please give AD a follow. AD, again, if you wanted to post any on the way out, if you wanted to shout yourself out or post any links of the things that you were doing lately or whatever, definitely go ahead and do that. So it's Armored Wolf Productions with a U. It's Armored Wolf with a U. So yeah, instead of just Armored Wolf, kind of the way we would normally spell it, it's got the U in there. And now there's other things besides the dice bags too. There's leather covered journal or leather journal covers, all that good stuff too. But well, actually did paint one of Armored Wolf's dice bags, and those are really, really amazing. All right, here, let's do some more, like so. And there's the link blizzard. There's the link blizzard from Megan. Thank you so much, Megan. Appreciate that. Again, the Patreon page. That's where all of the tutorials are. Covers terrain, basing, and not just oil paints. I don't know if it's the case now, but it might still be a higher percentage of acrylic videos on the Patreon still than there are oil paints. It's probably getting to be equalized now. Maybe, yeah, it's probably about equal now. Boom, okay, a little bit of the lighter stuff down in there. Now, we did want to go, where's my Indian yellow here? Terra Rosa. Indian yellow, well, not that much Terra Rosa. Well, still could be a handy color elsewhere on this. But I'm going to take this. It's not going to be a classic glazy type thing. Well, especially since Indian yellow is already it's one of those transparent hyper transparent oil colors. That's just too much stuff on the end of the brush there. I'm just looking to get that little bit of Indian yellow here on the top part of the eye. Oh, that's getting there. That's getting there. And of course, there's also the thin over thick and vice versa. Now, that doesn't mean that thin is completely watered down paint and that thick is right out of the tube. Thin could mean just a dry brush. Thick could mean it's only been thin 30%. And thinner could mean it's been thin to 50%. So it's not necessarily, it's thin to within an inch of its life. Not always. All right, now I feel like I've got that in there. I might go Egyptian violet maybe on some of the darker portion here for the eye. We're going to restore top part of the eye there. That upper eyelid, again, Egyptian violet. Now this is a Williamsburg color. It is not going to be cheap. Williamsburg colors are not cheap, but everyone that has tried the actual Egyptian violet versus something like, say, the diazonine violet or whatever, there is a difference. I'm going to try and do that little bit of his eye. And again, look at where my hand is. It's almost as close to the back of the brush as the front. None of this here, right? No death grip on the front of the brush. First of all, can't reach the miniature. Can't reach. That's not terribly useful, is it? What is useful is maybe taking a little, maybe not that much indigo, mixing it with our Egyptian violet here, and actually I might put some of that on some of the scales here to try and darken some of these down, like so. Dark tanner, you got a chance to try the indigo, the Williamsburg. It's I really like it. And of course, now I don't have the dark sword miniature anymore here, but I do have 3 more of these guys, I think. Actually, that was something I was thinking about doing. Well, I wanted to just do a video on those, just to, because we haven't really we used it on a dark sword miniature, but it's not like an army painting type thing. But I wanted to show, because I think it'll make it go really fast. And I know we've done a couple of things where we painted 4 or 5 miniatures just in one quick video, and I think that could just work. Now here, what I would like to do, let's see if we can make this work. So what I want to do here is something like this. I don't want to say stripes, but something along those lines. Let me see if I can make this work here. It may not work at all, and then we can just change it back if it doesn't work. Yeah, Dark Danigan, it's got that kind of a greenish look to it, doesn't it? That was a surprise to me. I mean, I guess it wasn't a total surprise because I had been told that it was very different, and I was sort of looking forward to that. But to actually see it, right, Dark Danigan is a whole nother bird. So Seminar, I'm trying to think. Oh, well, I painted a bunch of eagles. Well, speaking of eagles, this was painted on stream. So yes, I painted several eagles. And, well, of course, guess what else has feathers? Prinkles has feathers. So yeah, we've actually painted several things here on stream. Now, of course, I haven't had a chance yet to reorganize the videos, because apparently you can't do playlists like you can on YouTube, but you can at least organize them into sections, and I just haven't had a chance to do that yet. All right, Dano, you have a good dinner. Ooh, that sounds good, Dano. Just food in general sounds really, really good. So there's the eye right there. Now let's do that on the other side here. Pretty much just looking straight ahead, it looks like. Good enough. That works. Yeah, dark tan again. I thought, again, there's not a whole lot of other, it's relatively simple here, right? I thought we could do some quickie indigo things, see if we can get 4 of those guys painted up. I don't know, that just depending on how Sunday goes, that might even, who knows, that might even be the next video just because of things. So don't be too surprised if you see that sooner rather than later, because I haven't been able to do any prepping of miniatures in days now. Thank goodness I already had a couple of things already ready to go for the stream here, because otherwise it would have been dicey. All right, well, thanks, Saminar. Now, also, there's some on YouTube, Saminar. Now, of course, those would be more acrylic based, because some of those are YouTube lives. But yeah, I forgot just how many birdies that we've actually painted on stream here. There's been more than I thought. No, thanks, Bithron. So yeah, Bithron. Oh boy, it's too bad there's no you couldn't do a desert color scheme on the Churchill. And I know, well, I did do a contour camo on one of those from Victoria. Yes, from Victoria. I did one of Victoria's vehicles, did it in the contour camo scheme, which I realize that's not accurate. I know that's not actually how they did it. It's sort of misrepresented, but it's still a very fun color scheme to do. So yeah, contour camo didn't really look, not that light blue. It was more of just a gray. Still though, it's a very fun scheme to do. So Sparrow, there is no cobalt blue, there is no cerulean blue. What there is, and we always joke about this, that Prussian blue wiped out 3 colors. It wiped out phthalo blue, cobalt blue, and cerulean blue, because this mixed with, well, especially something like the radiant colors, like the blue here or the turquoise, essentially created cerulean blue. And I mean, boom, right? And I have cerulean blue. However, that's a Series 4, and to me, this is a better watercolor than it is an oil paint. It's definitely a better watercolor than an oil. Now, we can't, give me a second here. It's going to take a little while to scroll on up here. This is the only other mass usage of cerulean blue. So that was done with cerulean blue. I would have much rather, now I would have much rather just used the Prussian blue mixed with one of the radiants, because Prussian blue is a good staining color. Cobalt blue, cerulean blue are not staining colors by any stretch of the imagination. Now, here's another example again. This is just a Prussian blue, very much. Now, we did use the naphthol red on this one here, but again, a lot of Prussian blue. I think we had the radiance for that one. Yeah, we did. Now, this did have cobalt blue, but cobalt blue was used as like a glaze after the fact, right? So we had our grains in here, and I just did some pin line washes of the cobalt blue after the fact. So yeah, not lots of cobalt blue. We use the Prussian blue much more. That's the Kofev showing loyalty to Gondor. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. So in that case, poof, this is our Boromir conversion. Remember that we did the banner, we did the face, we made the shield, we made the cloak and everything. So yeah, there's Boromir with the banner of the White Tower. A little bit of shout out for Gondor. Iron Ant. Uh, it's kind of funny. I used to use phthalo blue. I still have it. Still have it. But the Prussian blue, it just it can you can turn it into more, do more things with it. Oh, by the way, Iron Ant, I didn't realize this, but apparently Prussian blue was the first artificial pigment. I mean, obviously there's other ones that have come since, but strangely enough, the first artificial pigment was Prussian blue of all things. It's pretty wild, Iron Ant. You would think that Prussian blue, okay, is it more of a greenish blue? Is it more of a reddish, kind of a violet blue? And it's kind of hard to pin it down. I've said, oh, maybe it is more of a greenish, but no, it's really hard to pin that sucker down. Hey, Nganes, how you doing? Now, of course, we actually do have phthalo green out on the palette. Ooh, where is he here? Ah, here he is. Yeah, remember this guy? So that was the phthalo green mixed with the Indian yellow pre-glaze on him. So much better than cadmium green. A heck of a lot cheaper, too. A whole lot cheaper. So, Anganes, I hope that you're doing well. Of course, as always, nice to see it. You know what we haven't done yet? We haven't gotten our lightest light into the... Well, that wasn't supposed to happen there. Now, we've barely used any of that white. We'll just break it down there a little thinner, stuck into that. Yes, this is the lightest light we've got on here as far as any of our blues go. So this should make quite the difference here. I'm interested to see what happens with this. But better thin it down though. And we're just breaking it down, a little bit of our high quality odorless thinner. And now let's dive in here. Wow, look at how much lighter that can be. I'm not going to do it absolutely everywhere. I think this is really where we're going to focus on some of the... Ah, look at that. Boy, that really makes a difference. Bam, look at that. Yep. I'm glad that you're doing good there, Nganes. Guitar Spider. The nice thing about the phthalos is that, well, you can use them as staining colors, right? In that early phase, like the staining we did here. Of course, Prussian blue is a staining color. You can see here, this is some of the, from here, that is, we call it indigo green. That would be the perline black, which is a fabulous dark green. Now, in Nganes, I think you got a chance to see our latest landscape of Middle Earth, right? You got a chance to step in on this. So that was Prussian blue mixed with the radiant turquoise for the most part. And same over here. Right, our reflected light, reflected blue light onto Medjugorje there. So yeah, Guitar Spider, that's what it really does make them super effective staining colors. But they had some potency to them, don't they? Guitar Spider. Wow, they got some punch. I thought so, Ngani. I wasn't sure if you were able to see the whole thing. Now, I don't think you got to see, this is what we painted last night here. This is Elf Helm. Actually, guess what? A lot of perline black, right? That dark green, and then we hit it with some of the Indian yellow to warm it up a bit, and then a lot of asphaltum and terra rosa on the horsey itself. Don't like Guitar Spider. Yeah, we love our Rohan stuff. You can check these out. So those were just regular old plastic Rohan, just regular horsemen. We converted all of those. We did the cloaks, the helmets, even some new stuff on the shield and some of their armor. So yeah, you can watch the sculpting and the painting of those. Of course, we've made a whole bunch of Rohan terrain on stream. We've made the not so great Hall of Erkenbrand. We made a stable. We made a watchtower and a blacksmith. We made the windmill. We even did a piece of Easterling terrain before things got crazy. And, well, if I could ever do the new setup, we'll hopefully be able to do at least paint some of the terrain. Oh, there we go. So Bitron posted a picture of this really fabulous bank that he's been working on, and I really enjoy the bank there. So you go check that out. I think you'll get. We love our terrain here. We absolutely love terrain. We love basing. We love terrain. Metalovich, how you doing? So Metalovich, this is one that I actually had thought about painting on stream. Well, when all the craziness first started with Kathy, we never got a chance to do that. So, well, still kind of crazy, very crazy, but thought we would try and give this one a try tonight. Now, you can see, look at the light there. You can see we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to try and bring in some more lights over here, too. Fair Service, how you doing? Nice to see you again, too. Welcome back. What are we doing over here? Maybe, you know what, I'm gonna, yeah, see that I think we need to make the lights in here a little bit more dramatic. I know I was thinking about doing this darker stuff right down the middle here, so we might do that as well. That would be back to the Egyptian violet / indigo mix. Thanks, Metalovich. What's funny is that they were so easy to do. It was just a matter of basically a Prussian blue mixed with the radiant blue pre-glaze, and then we worked a few colors back into it. That's all it took. Now here, that's gonna be dark in there, so I think we'll just let that be. Should be somewhat of a shadow there. Alright, and we'll darken or lighten this up too, a little bit further down, and then we'll carry that back here. We didn't really do that there. Okay, we'll do it there too. Well, Fair Service, what you can do is, well, just take like a Bones miniature or something, maybe even don't even care, or just stuff on a sprue, right? The extra Space Marine bits on a sprue. Make sure, though, that it has, you know, not something like this with all these little tight, detailed surfaces. Something maybe more like this that's got more wide open stuff, right? So you can see more of the blending and all that. And then keep it super simple. Maybe just use, I don't know, white and Van Dyke brown. I just use 2 colors and nothing else. And just kind of get used to applying it also, too. And we talk about these all the time. These little color chart things, right? And we've got another variety here. So not only do you have yourself basically a reference, so if I want to see what's Perline red mixed with brilliant yellow pale like, or radiant turquoise blue, or I think this is Perline black right here. So what do they look like mixed together? Here's a bunch of different radiant colors mixed with the Perline black again, that dark green. So you can always try those, and they make a really, really nice permanent kind of reference file for you. And that way you don't, maybe you don't have to guess anymore. Yeah, Kutbowski, I'm just really glad that worked out for you. Because hopefully it doesn't feel like you're in a race, right? Because that's how it can go with the acrylics, right? You feel like it's just a race against time always. Just for funsies there. Nah, don't like that. I'm going to just change it back to where we were. And we'll just go lighter over that. Everybody, everybody please give my Fair Service a follow on the Instas there. You know what? I might go a little further down with the lighter white in these crevices here. Just one little step further, and that's just right there. Just right there, and that's it. It looks like I already did some of the lighter stuff in here too. Yeah. Not absolutely everywhere. You know, I never actually did get the lighter colors on his beard down here. So just as I get rid of that little thing, oh, we never did this either. He had a whole bunch of lighter stuff to add to this. So getting some stuff off of my mini factory there. Yeah, so we do a ton of different Patreons. A ton of Lord of the Rings ones. I think it's at least 5. There's Diwali, Printing Goes Ever On, Kerr's Look, Medberry. Actually, does anybody know if Diwali has sent the links for the new June files or not? I want to get some more lighter stuff. Okay, so so the Louvre has also a nice 3D printable Kirin. Now, actually, Bina, I don't know if you wanted to post the link to the Gamlin stuff there in Germany there, so that people can hopefully access that. That's just super 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 helpful. Because well, a lot of folks have been asking, right, right, Bina? Okay, I'm gonna continue to add some of the lights over here into this beard, such as it is. Somehow we did them on the other side. Actually, I don't know if we did those on the other side necessarily. I don't know. I'm gonna try and get a little bit some lighter magenta. Oh, yeah, we gotta do some of that over here now. Now that we've just done this, we need to get some more lights up there. This is the radiant magenta, or radiant red. Sorry. There's some cadmium yellow in it. Also a little touch of Indian yellow, just to make sure that it didn't get too pinkish. We weren't looking for that. So there's the third one that I haven't had a chance to print yet. I might have actually done that file but never printed, or either that or maybe I did. Again, that's why I desperately wanted to do all the reorganization here, is because there was just nowhere to put those things. So they've kind of just gone out of sight, out of mind. Because basically I print things because you never know when there's going to be times where you won't be able to print. So I just basically print when I can, even if it's a file that I know I may not use for months. Oh, thanks, Doji. Oh, Chewy, gosh, the big old Tarrasque there. Now, it's been difficult printing out. Their stuff is not very easy to print out. Now, of course, their stuff tends to be super delicate, very much like Lost Kingdom stuff. Now, of course, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Lost Kingdoms did Chaos Dwarfs. I want to print those up for an army painting series too. I forgot all about those guys. Yeah, so I want to get those Chaos Dwarves. That we could. I've never actually done an army painting series with just like standard sort of lava type bases. Now that could be fun. We'd essentially end up painting they would look a little bit like our Moria stuff, right? Let me see. Let's grab like our Moria Gandalf here, and of course, our Moria Trolls. So it'd be a little bit more like this. Those are from Diwali. We painted those up on stream. We did 3 different trolls on stream. I think a couple of them did, like some shortened versions, ended up on the YouTube channel. So here, I'm just trying to get a little bit of that's Fanchon Red. Mixed more with the Radiant Red than, say, our orangey stuff here. Don't necessarily need that to be so orange everywhere. Let's see, I used to have oh yeah, now, I used up to a Chaos Dwarf Patreon. Well, that's wow, that's really cool. I do have somewhere, I don't know where they are now. They are tucked away somewhere, but I actually have the old Forge World Chaos Dwarf Siege engines somewhere. And those could be interesting to paint on stream, but we would need to have a larger area, and that's what the whole rebuild was supposed to be, is that we could have a larger area for filming and streaming. Yeah, Chewy, unfortunately, all the stuff that's happened the last, well, month or so, it really derailed my printing. And I was hoping to get especially during the springtime here, get as much stuff printed as I could, especially maybe some of the larger stuff, but oof, that just hasn't worked out. Aha, the Taurus and the Lamisau. Actually, I have the Great Taurus, the Forge World one. I even actually that was actually part of one of my a video where I was doing some priming with it. That's right. That would be very, especially on stream with all the lava type stuff. So it will, but that needs a whole lot more area than I have right now, as far as well, room to spread its wings. Obviously, the Forge World Great Taurus is a little bit bigger than the old metal one, right? So I imagine you got the old metal one there, Fair Service. And of course, I don't think I have the Lamassu. I don't think I ever had that one. Where's my, or I guess we'll just go with this here. Let's thin that down just a smidge again. And let's start to work a little more orange into this. Especially where it gets closer to the, where a little, this hair is down here. So again, everybody check out the links at Doji and Bina were kind enough to post those and give you a hint as to what kind of discounts and pricing you can get there. It's always good to take advantage of some sales for sure. And just keep in mind, when you get oil paints, they're with you forever. You buy a tube of paint that, let's just say it costs $8. The average tube that I have pretty much costs around $8 or $9. Some are more, some are less. Some of them are only $6.50. But those will last you forever, as opposed to a $8 jar of contrast paint, which even if you don't spill it, it's really not necessary. I mean, it lasts much longer for me because of how I use it, but for the average person, they kind of tear right through that contrast paint. Now, yeah, Chewy, it's been so crucial here, especially, well, now for all of my army painting series, right? Now, this wasn't one of the army painting ones, but here, where's our Artisan Guild series here? Being able to print those out was huge. And then, of course, well, the Highland miniatures, the Empire Knights, and, well, here's another series. Those are all 3D printed. And the dwarves, right? Yeah, our Erebor dwarves, Iron Hills, sorry. So those were from Printing Goes Ever On. We printed those guys up, and that was another fun army painting series. Now let me see. Here we go. So this one we painted up on stream. It's also on the YouTube channel. This was done with contrast paint. However, it was done basically like an oil painting, because we took the contrast paint and we mixed it with lighter opaque colors, essentially like what we do here. Because guess what? Your darker oil paints tend to be very heavily pigmented, like your phthalo greens and blues. They're almost staining colors. And then we add the opaques to them, right, to lighten them up. So that's how we approach this. So that was done with the contrast, but painted as if it was done with oils. And So you're not using very much of the paint at all. And because it's semi-opaque, in many ways, it's like using the oil paints. Now, obviously, it's going to dry a lot faster than the oils, and you can't necessarily do as much of the mixing. But believe it or not, adding the contrast paint to regular paints makes those not dry so fast. And then you can actually do a little bit more blending, wet blending and mixing that way. So fair service, I'm just James Wapple on YouTube. Yep, just look up, go to YouTube, type in James Wapple, and that should pop right up. And there's a bunch of other tutorials on there. And then of course, well, we got the Patreon page. That's where, especially if you do the Army Painter Pledge level, there's 1,100 hours or more. They're not less. There's gonna be more of videos waiting for you to watch. Terrain, basing, everything. Yeah, Chewy, now do you have a arch villain as well? The arch villain does have a lot of nifty, monstrous infantry, actual monsters, right? I do enjoy their stuff as well. They're lizard men. We've done a lot of that too. And thanks for posting the link there, Bitron. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Again, I appreciate everybody kind of taking over the duties there. Normally, Armored Wolf is here to do that. And also, while Armored Wolf is gone, please everybody check out Armored Wolf's Etsy page, because in addition to all the fine basing materials, like the crushed glass snow and the grass and flower tufts, Armored Wolf also does dice bags. And what are dice bags good for? Oh, I don't know. When you have new Easterling dice, courtesy of Dark Danigan, thank you so much. You get yourself one of Armored Wolf's dice bags. You can pop them in there. Maybe even have an Easterling design done in metal on the front of the dice bag. Because Easterlings, right? Enough said. Well, AD, thank you so much for hanging out. Appreciate that. And everybody, please give AD a follow. AD, again, if you wanted to post any on the way out, if you wanted to shout yourself out or post any links of the things that you were doing lately or whatever, definitely go ahead and do that. So it's Armored Wolf Productions with a U. It's Armored Wolf with a U. So yeah, instead of just Armored Wolf, kind of the way we would normally spell it, it's got the U in there. And now there's other things besides the dice bags too. There's leather-covered journal or leather journal covers, all that good stuff too. But well, I actually did paint one of Armored Wolf's dice bags, and those are really, really amazing. Here we are. Let's do a little bit more, or like how we're there. So yeah, but speaking of dice bags, hopefully Armored Wolf is selling lots of dice bags right now at that Ren Fair that he's doing. Well, it's really more of a pirate type of thing. It's not so much of a Ren Fair. Yeah, Dark Danigan, well, originally he was, the bag that he did for me was for bolt action, because it's for the order dice. But, well, sadly we won't get a chance to do bolt action stuff anymore. So we'll, and the reason for that is, well, we could show it on the battle reports, right? Because, well, you're always drawing the order dice, and that would be one way we could have shown the Armored Wolf, dice bags. Sadly, that just wasn't meant to be with the way, just a little bit too iffy doing the bolt action stuff. Yeah, the hairpins. He did lots of stuff like that, and barrettes. Also, check out the Fair Service barrettes. He's like, so was it Shadowfax? Is this a friend of yours? Is like, no, no, no. That's my cousin Lenny. He's he's on the pipeweed, I think. It's like, what do you mean I'm on the weed? Just because I might have a little bit of a wild color scheme, does that mean I'm on pipeweed? It's like, well, I don't know. That's what the horse tells me. Thank you so much for that follow, Artsy Jam. I appreciate that. All right, there we go. So hopefully Etsy hasn't made it too difficult. I know they've been changing the parameters, right? They keep making more demands on shipping and their percentages and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully Etsy hasn't made it too difficult. I know it seems, well, even Patreon, they're making things more and more difficult. It's less and less like it's supposed to be supporting creators and more about kind of like what happened to Kickstarter, where it just became a place for big companies to just roll out their new stuff over and over again instead of for people actual creators trying to do stuff. Oh, thanks, Artsy Jim. We've It was just kind of funny because here on Prinkles the cat, we we're doing a little bit of a variation on this. Here we're adding a little bit more of the seafoam green, and this had the red is a little bit different. We're using, instead of the Fanchon red, we use the Naphthol red, and but still kind of a similar type of a scheme to Prinkles the Imperial War Kitty. That was also painted up on stream. Actually, we've done two different versions of Prinkles the War Kitty, with and without wings. So yeah, the wings, that was a bit of a conversion that we did. And that's what we throw a little bit of our lighter color in there. A little bit more lights. So we actually did a Kickstarter in 2013. This was in the golden age before Kickstarter became, well, something else. And that was actually when people were trying to get started with things. And that was what got the whole video stuff started. And there's actually still some of the original, all 52 of them, the original painting pyramid videos. Those are actually part of the Patreon page too. I still use the same editing software after all this time. The filming process has changed dramatically, as you might imagine, over the last 9 years. And no, I'm not. I have not gone to Vegas Pro. What is that, up to like 19 now or something? Still on Vegas Pro 11, I believe. So Artsy Gem, see where my finger is right here? Lost Kingdom. It's a 3D printed miniature. You can see some of the renders of the Kirin. There's 3 different versions of this, kind of 2 more like this, and then there's a third one where you actually have some kind of a sorceress or something like that, actually sort of riding on its shoulder for whatever reason. Boy, for as many 3D printed miniatures as we've done here, it's hard to believe this is the first Lost Kingdoms miniature. And I have printed out Lost Kingdoms miniatures before. We just never had a chance to paint them, especially on stream. I might have done, again, 1 or 2 as a video, but this is the first stream. Yeah, Artsy, I don't know. Oh gosh, this could have been the March release. It's either March or April. It could be either one of those. I just don't remember. I'm leaning towards March, actually. Yeah, I think I'm leaning more towards March. And it's fantastic. Now, of course, again, these are far more dainty and delicate. You know, you get something like, say, Highland Miniatures, you know, like like these guys here, or the Artisan Guild stuff. They tend to be a little bit more robust. Arch villain, you never quite know what you're ever gonna. Sometimes they can be a little bit dainty. Here's this one we just painted up on stream. Was this Monday? I think we painted this up on Monday, perhaps this week. That's another arch villain figure right there. Or was it this one? No, I think this was maybe last Friday or something. This Medbury miniature right there, that little, the Elf King there. Again, looking for some more of these lighter reds here, like so. Oh, thanks, Iron Ant. And of course, the Diwali. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. I think we did 3 of these elks from Diwali, and of course all the 3D printed basing bits from Make It Epic and Pelennor. Those were very handy too. Chewy, was that the May release? Because oh gosh, I don't know if I can reach it here. Oh, I never did get a chance to put my foliage on this. But this is from that same release, right? The griffins here. So yeah, actually, I gotta get pictures. Gotta get some pictures of this guy here. Never actually did take those, but yeah, we painted this one up on stream. That was a fun one. Hey, Lethal Shadow. Speaking of printing, so Lethal Shadows Gaming is a printing service for those who don't have a printer, but they also have their own line of miniatures. And this is one that we painted up on stream. You can check that one out. And then, of course, there's this one. This is the current YouTube video that I have on the channel here. This is also from Lethal Shadows Gaming. So, like I said, if you don't have a printer, or maybe you're like me and you haven't gotten your large format printer plugged in and working yet, they can help you out there. That's what they're there for. And everybody can please go check out that link that Lethal Shadows just posted. The quality control is very good. Lethal Shadows can, again, check out the YouTube channel. We've got that posted there. You know what? I'm gonna get me a little, not that much Terra Rosa, not that much. There we go. I don't want this to be brown per se. Almost more like a skin color. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to mix a little bit of our Radiant Violet and the Asphaltum together. So now we have something a little less gray. Don't want to kill all of that gray, but there's going to be a lot of green that goes in here. I mean, nah, not even going to bother doing any lighter stuff on the foliage there. Oh, Chewy just backed a tribe that had some Egyptian stuff. Yeah, Chewy. Well, actually, our Arch Villain, I think their June release is going to have a ton more Egyptian stuff. And well, we painted a lot of really neat Egyptian stuff from them already. And we've got some more Lethal Shadows gaming miniatures that we'll be painting up on stream. Now, of course, the big guy, well, that's going to have to wait till we finally get everything set up here. But we've got a couple of other smaller ones. Obviously, Kathy had intended to paint a few. They're all prepped. She even had them primed until things kind of got disrupted. So hopefully Kathy will get a chance to paint those, especially the one that's kind of like her half-orc or orc barbarian character. All right, there we go. That works a bit. And oh, here we go. Yeah, the Sons of Sekhmet, we painted all those on stream. And then, of course, the Daughters of Sekhmet, also painted on stream. But there's also a Blood Effects video, too. So you can, I think it's on the YouTube channel, possibly. Well, actually, Lethal Shadows, you know how much we love the Egyptian stuff, right? So if it's here, we will not object. We will not object one bit to having some lovely Egyptian stuff sent this way. And of course, I think people will get a real kick out of seeing that for sure. Again, that is Lethal Shadows Gaming. So a very, very high quality, very resilient resin. And it's pretty much, you get the miniature, you take it out of the box, you prime it, and you paint it. And that's kind of that's how Lethal Shadows wants your experience to be. Not cleaning off a bunch of support nubs or anything like that. So yeah, that ain't going to happen to you. So yeah, those were I really enjoyed those arch villain ones, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the June release is like. I think I might have downloaded them, but phew, good luck having a chance to do anything with them. Hopefully we get a chance to start printing those. All right, here a little bit more of our light working its way down there. Now I'm going to try some of the radiant green here. Let me see what we can do with the radiant green. Possibly. Ooh, radiant green with a little brilliant yellow pale. Let's give that a shot. See what we have here. Ooh, that could be very interesting. Get a little more thinner out here. Yeah, we don't use very much of it. And by very much, this is what we're talking about. It's a water bottle cap right there. And of course the brush cleaner that we're using, look at this. Oh, dried acrylic and oil color, not hazardous, no vapor. So I know some folks, they get worried about those kind of things. Guess what? You don't have to be afraid. Don't have to worry. Let's see. So yeah, single, like the ones that I showed you there, those were just single piece miniatures. You don't have to do, because I know some folks, they've done Etsy things, right, and been a little bit disappointed that there's a ton of cleanup work to do. But that is not going to be your experience with the Lethal Shadows. And of course, if you don't see a miniature on file there, be sure to contact them and just say, hey, I was hoping to get a print of this. They can work with you. Hey, Thousand Young. Yeah, Bithron, I know you're gonna have a blast with those. It's kind of like, well, all the mechs, right, that you were doing. I think it's gonna go a lot like those. And everybody, please give Thousand Young a follow. And of course, Thousand Young, if you want to post, speaking of 3D printing, well, you need sculptors if you're gonna have files to print. And Thousand Young does some fantastic sculpting. So everybody, please check out Thousand Young. And Thousand Young will post a link to, I think, yeah, Thousand Young, you've got a Cults 3D as well, don't you? I think you have that. I think you moved from the My Mini Factory. Cults 3 there. There we go. I'm going to keep going with the Radiant Green here. Just for the heck of it. It's got, again, a little bit of that brilliant yellow pale also mixed in there. So yeah, and you can watch those again, those Lethal Shadows miniatures. You want to see them being painted on screen. Look at how much lighter that can be here. You just have to go back, watch those sessions. Now, I think they were a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago. Again, for now, well, everything is always going to be in chronological order. But once I can try and reorganize all of the various streams into, well, what is tantamount to playlists, it'll be a little bit easier to find, I think. All right, see that? It's starting to, see, it's starting to get almost a little bit like a metallic look to it there. Now that we're starting to get some of these lighter highlights in here now. Again, this is still not white. That is radiant green mixed with a little bit of brilliant yellow pale. And I'm gonna I'm going to go all the way over here maybe with that, just for the heck of it. And of course, well, with the oils, we do an awful lot of non-metallic metal. Why? Because that's what, well, any kind of commission thing for the most part is going to be non-metallic metal. But we do a lot of metallics with the oils. I've even made my own metallic oil paints. Just linseed oil and some of the Green Stuff World metal powders. You can take mica powders, do the same thing. Yeah, those, and of course you can also get interference powders if you want to make your own interference paints, because the Williamsburg interference paints, those are pricey. Oh, those are really pricey. Getting the powders, mixing them with the linseed oil will be a much cheaper way to go. That may not be something you want your first oil paint experience to be, though. You want a little more experience just using the oil paints before you start making your own necessarily. Now look at that. See how we can still get brighter with these green. That's again like a turquoise type of a color there along the rib cage. And there's not a ton of thinner in this. Not a whole ton of thinner actually. Lighten this up here as well. Same here. Like so. Oh, thanks, Thousand Young. This is from Lost Kingdom Miniatures, and it's one of 3 different poses. Here, I mean, I know it's really small, but in the in my reference window there in the lower right-hand corner, you can see some of the renders. There's 3 different sculpts. I know I have at least 2 of them printed out. Maybe I have all 3. Again, I just wish there was a 50-hour long day with the way things are going here. Well, even that wouldn't help, actually. But eventually, I really want to be able to do the rework here of the studio so that I have the some dedicated areas for almost like specific, right? Here's printed Lost Kingdom stuff. Here's printed Lord of the Rings stuff, whatever. So that can be a bit more separate from each other. Now here I actually was doing some of the Egyptian violet over the top of that. Let me see. I'm not sure. Do we like this or not? Whatever. We'll see what happens with that. If I don't like it, I can just again bring some kind of blending brush here and just tone it down very easily. Let me see. Yeah, actually, well, we haven't. Oh, that's right. I was gonna say haven't had a chance to paint a Thousand Young sculpt yet. We'll definitely have to get a Thousand Young sculpt so we can paint one of those fabulous sculpts on stream here. I know I'd have a kick out of doing that, and I'm sure it would be fun for folks to see. Look at this. We're doing again, picking out some of the individual scales. Now and we're only 3 hours in. Seriously, this is 3 hours and 12 minutes. That's it. The entire thing was just primer 3 hours and 12 minutes ago. I'm just saying that's what the oils can do for you. Ask not what you can do for the oils, but what the oils can do for you. And the oils can do an awful lot. They can help you cut through that big pile of, well, depending maybe what color your resin is. For me, it would be smoky black. Yeah, Thousand Young. I think it would be. I just haven't even had a chance to look through the files yet or anything like that to see what I want to snag, or several things to snag. Because I know that some of them are commission type things, right? And those kind of have to stay with the person that commissioned those. You know, I want to see if I can't also here pick out a few individual scales there too. Just to, and again, that's a warmer greenish color, trying to get something a little different out here. We have plenty of the blue. We got some violet in there. We have plenty of red, right? Got plenty of that out there. Ooh, well, that sounds good, Thousand Young. Yeah, you'll have to, you just have to shoot me a heads up. Heads up when you do. Did I get my light? Yeah, I did get my, ooh, this right here. What do we want to do here? I'm going to head back over here, I think, to the radiant turquoise, maybe. Not so much of the green. Let me see what happens here. Oh, yeah. Well, that's going to be plenty light. I'm thinking it was going to be not light enough. It's going to be plenty light. And again, everybody check out Thousand Young on Cults 3D. Because Thousand Young just posted a link there. If it got pushed up in the chat or whatever, you can shoot that back into the chat there. And to see all the amazing stuff that Thousand Young does. And that's what's really cool. And also, again, give Thousand Young a follow, because Thousand Young also does streaming. So you want to watch some really fabulous 3D sculpting. Well, sculpting is 3D when I'm talking digital sculpting, sorry. I always make that stupid mistake. See, I don't want to get too... See, if I keep going with the light too far, we sort of lose the effect. I would have to go maybe more with the dark there. Now this, like we did up there, I might do that down here. However, let's try this. And let me see if I can really get some thinner into that. And let's see what happens down here. Not enough. Ah, now that's doing it. And if that is also not going to work out, I can also make a change there. So I'm just going to let that stuff sit there, and we'll go back over it with some of our darks here. Okay, yeah, the Thousand Young, that would be fabulous. I remember the first couple of sculpts I saw that you posted on the page. I said, oh man, those are really, those are fabulous. You know, this is as neat as it is to have, say, the Radiant Violet and the Egyptian Violet together. Something about the Radiant Blue and the Egyptian Violet together that's kind of nifty. It's almost, no, Cobalt Violet is actually warmer than that. As I look at it, I was thinking maybe it was almost as warm as Cobalt Violet, but no, not quite. Yeah, well, I know with the digital sculpting, it's always counting polygons, right? You're always chasing the polygons. Too many will just cause all kinds of, as the Aussies would say, strife. Now up here, we were talking about doing seeing what happens if we have these same darker scales. See what we do those here. It could fail horribly, in which case we just paint over them and it's no big deal. Indigo, Egyptian Violet, and let's see what we can do here. And if it doesn't look like it's going to work out, we'll just change it right back. You know what? I don't know, that maybe that does, maybe that is a little more interesting per se than just having the forehead only lighter, because it kind of carries this all the way through over the top of his head there. Yeah, Thousand Young, and of course, there's been some, and they're not necessarily, they're actually not 3D printed, but they're sculpts that are meant to be cast, that you can kind of tell that when they were sculpting them, they were zoomed in a little bit too far, because while things can maybe print or be cast, it's unpaintable. So you can actually create details that are so darn small they become unpaintable. And that's usually something I'm sure that develops with experience. See what we're doing here now? We're getting a little bit of dark. We have light, dark, and then light again up here. And this is not thin enough to be a pin line. Look at this again. Look where my hand is. Nowhere near that metal ferrule, right? You don't even see my fingers. And yet we're able to do a very, very controlled stroke right there, aren't we? We'll be doing some of that over here too. Very gentle, very controlled, because keeping our hands way the heck back here, that gives us leverage, or leverage as they say in some parts. That's what happens when you listen to too much Time Team and Midsummer Murders and that sort of stuff. It will affect your pronunciation. Also, if you listen to too much Aussie Rules football, that also might have a little bit of an effect on how you pronounce things. Now here, we got the big old plant in the way. This was a rather ingenious way of supporting this. So instead of just having the one leg touching there, the tree actually does touch that, and look, it's anchored to the ground there. So that was a good idea there. It does give it for sure much more stability. Now we've got those branches in the way, so we're gonna try and somehow sneak our brush in between all of those areas, if we can. I remember always Wild West Exodus. That's right, Wild West Exodus, and they were that was kind of the early days of the digital sculpting, and they made brims that were just fine in the sculpt, and then when they went to cast them all, they all looked like fezzes. They all looked like they were wearing fezzes because none of the brims printed out or could cast. They could print them out in the master, but it was so darn small and thin. Yeah, they were fez wearing cowboys. That would be a very unique miniature line of cowboys wearing fezzes, but you gotta do. I guess who knows? Be an interesting look. And oh yeah, Bithron, I know you were painting up some cowboys. Did you paint up about a half a dozen of them or so? I know it was at least 5, right? So I know you were painting up some cowboys for, well, to go with your bank, of course. You know, I'm just gonna go back to the some of the darker violet in that. Now the face here, I think I might get some of my lighter violets in. I also have to get some lighter stuff here on, I think on the horn as well. Yeah, 1,000. Yes, Shriner Cowboys. There you go, Chewy. Shriner Cowboys. That that would be a real unique cowboy gang right there. I do miss the Wild West Exodus stuff because we had some fantastic stories built around our armies. And I mean, I still do have the battle reports. They're just, still images. But yeah, there's some battle reports on the blog there. We really did enjoy that. It was some fun stories that we had. Dirk Danigan. Oh, for Tombstone. Oh, Dirk Danigan, you'll have to show me. You have to send me some pics there, for sure. Now of the undead cowboys. I might just let a little bit of that violet work its way in here. Yeah. Then, well, look at that. We have the radiant violet mixed with the asphaltum already here. Okay, so it was 4. I wasn't sure if it was 5 or 4. I remember the picture that you sent me. But yeah, Bithron. Now, of course, I think I was using the Green Stuff World liquid pigments for that winter wash. But my heck, even weathering powders, you could take white weathering powder, mix it with. Well, if you mix it with rubbing alcohol, you'll still have to fix it. But you could mix it with. Now, of course, you do the rubbing alcohol thing, you'll be able to wipe it away, so it'll quite literally be like the winter wash actual process, just in 15 mil. Yeah, 1,000 young. That's I guess I don't know. Maybe that's of course those were the early days. Like I said, we're talking 2012, 2013 ish, somewhere in there. So that was a long time. That was when Adepticon was at the old hotel, and they hadn't even been there for just more than a year or two. Well, Dirk Danny, I'm glad, and of course I'm hoping that the oils just made that process a whole heck of a lot. I don't know if it was maybe easier, faster, more fun, any one of those things. I guess I didn't really want that to get mixed in with it. Well, whatever. We'll just throw some lights over here on this floaty stone over there. Get some more of our lighter. Goes down here, and again, this is only 3.5 hours in. This thing's pretty darn sizable. I mean, here, look at this is that's the elf hound that we painted last night. So this here is no small tiny little thing. Yeah, I might just actually 4 funsies here. Radiant green, Indian yellow. And I don't know. Let's see how this works. I don't want that to all be the same. So we'll do a little bit of this later, and then I'm going to go back get some more of my Perline black. Thank you so much, Joey. I appreciate the follow. So does Gandalf. Gandalf really appreciates that. He loves all the little hobbitses. Probably mostly because they have pipeweed, but he does love all the little hobbitses. Now, actually, here's a 3D printed Gandalf right here. This is from Printing Goes Everywhere. It says, "Hello, little hobbitses." He's like, "Dude, watch where you're swinging that stick." He's like, "Oh, yeah, sorry, I thought you were a Balrog." He's like, "Seriously, dude?" It's like, "Oh, I don't know. You got like a fiery red mane, like a Balrog." And of course, we did paint. Here's the Balrog that we painted on stream. Wait, there we are. So there's our Balrog, and all those little gobos all painted up on stream. And we had to add extra flames to that there, because that's the old metal Balrog. Seriously. And here's the Moria Dragon. So you can check out those streams as well. Let's see. No, I'm going to go back to my somewhat lighter green here again. You know what? I might a little bit of that work its way in there. Maybe I won't put my foliage stuff on here. I was thinking of doing that. I guess I remember some of the Loot Studios things where they had the clumps of foliage and it just looked a little bit weird. I guess it depends what happens with the base. It depends on how the flock and some of the Luke's APS ground cover looks on there. I might lighten this up a smidge, I guess. Here. Like that. A little more here. And again, we can always come back to a pin line wash or whatever. Now I'm also going to do, so we got these little shrooms down here. Color goes somewhere. It must go everywhere. It's going to go down here onto our base just a bit. I like how we still have the indigo in there. That's good. That also helps pull some of the blue down onto the base here. But look around, my hand is on that brush. See how far away it is? Now you can see why we're able to do this dry brushy stuff. Because again, look where my hand is on this brush here. Oh, thanks Bitron for doing the clip there. Yeah, Chewy. Well, of course, even Minas Tirith. Did we send that one? Oh, we already sent off the Minas Tirith. Never mind. But Minas Tirith didn't have the bottom wall was black, right? It was made out of the same stone as Orthanc, and of course the Pelennor Fields was not some desert like they showed in the movies, right? You had the Ramus Ichor, and inside the Ramus Ichor you had all of the oh gosh, Vicus, I think is what they call them in the basically the towns that would spring up around the Roman forts. So you had farm fields, you had houses, villages, all kinds of stuff outside the walls of Minas Tirith. But in the movie, they didn't show anything. It was literally just this road, this lonely little road that went through this field of nothing, all the way to Minas Tirith. And of course, well, it wasn't quite as big either. Now, of course, the fall of Gondolin, right? You have Gothmog, you have Gothmog the Balrog, you have Gothmog the Orc, you have Gothmog the Halfling, you have Gothmog the Elf. That I think that name got overused quite a bit. Now, of course, and I guess you can understand why they did that, but of course it was a real bummer that one of my favorites, right, Prince Imrahil, you didn't see him. They basically, all the neat stuff that he did, they, well, gave to other people. But it would have been fun. It would have been very fun to see Prince Imrahil and the Knights of Dol Amroth. That was originally what I wanted to be painting today, was to finally get all of the Medbury Miniatures Dol Amroth Knights prepped. So that a lot of that freehand that you just saw on my Prince Imrahil there, I wanted to do that across, well, basically the entire unit. But, well, I haven't had a chance to prep those yet. And it was a little bit weird because they said, well, you know, we could only have so many characters, right? But then they create the character of Lurtz, because Lurtz is not in the books, but they created Lurtz, but no Prince Imrahil. But again, doing a movie thing, it's not easy. It's not easy, so very understandable. Yeah, the Bithron, of course. To Treebeard, everybody smells like an orc. And for the longest time, right, that's how we were able to. We just said, well, you know, maybe Treebeard thought they were orcs and he stomped on them. And then all of a sudden, the little hobbits has appeared. First as part of a 2D art stream when we painted the Amon Sul. So yeah, a Tyrio or something like that. And of course, obviously that's Games Workshop, of course, made that character as part of the Mirkwood Rangers, I think. Yeah. And of course, well, Chewie, we have Grumpy Gandalf, who's very upset that people call Sam the hero of the story, and Gandalf is very upset about that. He's not happy at all. Because Gandalf, he's like, whew, man, Yeah, that's no Balrog. Let me tell you what a real Balrog is. You mess with a Balrog with nothing but a glow stick and a kitchen knife, you end up with no arms. So you end up dead, like I did. And my fabulous prize was a white robe. That was uh, that was super. Real special prize there. White robe, yeah. So that's Grumpy Gandalf. Tario, obviously she has, well, no armor, but she has, oh, was it knife fighter or something like that? So if she's outnumbered, you actually increase her attacks. So if you attack her with one orc, she doesn't get that many attacks. If you attack her with three, it's like it triples the amount of attacks she gets or something like that. Hopefully, at some point, we finally get to play some of our Lord of the Rings, or at least even just the War of the Ring board game. I'd settle for that. I'd even settle for that. So Chewie, Glorfindel. Oh gosh, who is it? Oh, and Glorfindel and Gilgalad. Those are two of the nastier elves in the Middle Earth strategy battle game. I'm pretty sure it's either Glorfindel or Gilgalad that's fight skill 9. Maybe it's Gilgalad is fight skill 9. And maybe Glorfindel is only fight skill 7 or something like that. And of course, I don't know if it's Glorfindel or Gilgalad that can have Asphalloth, the horse. That I think, kind of like Azog and his White Warg. I think, no, the horse itself doesn't have a point of might or a point of fate. You can spend fate. Yeah, I think it's either Gilgalad or Glorfindel can spend a point of fate to save the horse. Yeah, Doshi, well, now, right now, unfortunately, the place where I would be trying to play Lord of the Rings has a whole bunch of 3D printing stuff on it right now. Because all of that was supposed to be taken off of there once we redid this area. Because we did this one first, then we were supposed to do the, and it just hasn't quite worked out that way, has it? Now I'm going to get me some more light down here. And then we're going to take our, probably some of the Egyptian violet and come back in with some of the darks here. That's too much. I'm going to go back. There we go. Some of this radiant turquoise here. This is too light. So now, I think, I guess, I don't know if after Rohan or... I still think Rohan has the most named heroes. Thank you so much, Ulala Heinz. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And of course, Gandalf appreciates that too. Gandalf will up here. Just a second. Which Gandalf is it going to be? Which one? This Gandalf. Hello, little hobbit. Spark my ganja. Telling ya. Shadowfax has a... I never knew he had like a dodgy cousin here. He's like, I'm dodgy? Really? Just because I got me red hair and a horn? Thank you so much for that follow, Alala. I appreciate that. So we'll get back to our... There we are. A little bit of the Egyptian violet for down here. Doji was pretty wild to see. And Doji, boy, if you watch some of the earlier sessions, say from 2020, especially where I tried that Cobalt Violet. Well, actually, Doji, have you seen any of the Patreon vids where I was trying to make Cobalt Violet work? There's actually there's a painting video where I was trying it, and of course there's one of the color theory videos. Now it's very early. It's very early, but yeah, you'll hear my disappointment at the like darn near $40 tube of paint or whatever that underperformed slightly, right? Yeah, Doji. It's one of the very first of the color theory and oils videos, and it should be on violets. So yeah, good old Rohan and the 14,000 named heroes that they have. Because I think, oh yeah, last night we were talking about Hama, who's also another named hero. And then of course you've got Gambling, Deowine, Elfhelm, Theodred. Uh, you've got Arrow. You've got, oh gosh, Helm Hammerhand even. Which of course is a little bit weird to see Helm Hammerhand running around out there. I mean, it's not like he lived thousands of years before War of the Ring, but still. And it's Chewie that. Well, let's see. But I have to. It's been a while since I've seen the movies. He's very briefly in the scene. Well, he's actually, I think, the guy that doesn't take away Gandalf's staff. Yeah, that would be Hama. Or. Now, he could have been wearing parachute pants. We'd have to watch the movie again to see if Hama was wearing parachute pants or not. Yeah, that's it's what is it? Oh, there's a video for that. Well, once you get to well that 1,100 to 1,200 hours of stuff, I mean, you end up covering so many different things, and of course, I'm always trying to do new things. We're not just rehashing the same old stuff. Experimentation is the name of the game. Constant, unending experimentation. Now, sometimes it's because there is a certain painting dilemma or thing that I just needed to solve, and then there's other times where I'll think, you know what, I've never tried this material this way, and maybe I'll give it a shot. And you never quite know what's going to happen on some of those. You never quite know. And I don't practice things a bunch of times either before I do it in a video because, well, if it's something I've done 1,000 times, that doesn't really do you much good. So there are times, especially when I'm trying new stuff, let's just say that sometimes things go sideways. And that does not get edited out because it's important for you to see that. Because if you don't see where things can go sideways, and you go to do it and things go sideways, you're going to say, well, wait a minute, why was it so easy? Why is it going sideways for me? So I want to make sure that that stays in there. You know, it's it may not be the finest hour, you know, where stuff breaks or something gets glued to me or whatever. I don't know, but I leave all that stuff in there. And again, there are times where I'm trying some kind of new paint or whatever, and Doji and Bina, you've heard how many times have you heard me, even with Indian Yellow, right? If you watch the video with Indian Yellow, my initial reaction was, I don't know about this stuff. How long did it take before it was an essential that we have on the palette every single video and every single live session? Yeah, Indian Yellow was like, I'm not so sure about this. And then it became an essential. Now, what's essential here is to get a little bit of the red punched up into here, I think. He also never goes sideways, but so he doesn't show the puny mortals. Yes, indeed. There are times where Things do not go according to plan. Also, when I do those color theory videos, there'll be times where I'll get a result that I just don't expect. I'll say, well, that's not what I thought was going to happen. Just like when we did the two indigos, comparing both of those, I was not expecting some of the results that we got. Not in the least. So there, I think, now we're a little bit more in tune with what we had on that side of his face. Now up here, do we like this darker stuff? Does that work? Or is it just kind of I don't know. I think I'm going to come back turquoise or this. I'll try the radiant turquoise here. I'm going to see what happens with this. Then we might lighten that up a smidge too. Oh, that's nice and bold. And I'm going to throw some more of that lighter tone on his face. We'll do the same on this side. Well, this could be a case of if you want to show dark, you must have light, because I wasn't really seeing that before. Now I kind of see the darker stuff here. You know what? Maybe not all the way out to the end of his nose.